Hello students, welcome to this mini lecture, Going Viral. So in this lecture, we're going to look at how we can stimulate or encourage users and consumers to share our marketing message, to help that message spread like a virus. That's where the term going viral comes from. We can actually get other people to communicate, to amplify our marketing message. And we're going to look at how brands have gone from doing straightforward broadcast or outdoor advertising, and now how they're integrating both paid media and earned media into their campaigns. So by the end of this little mini lecture, you'll have an understanding of the power of earned media and how campaigns go viral and truly how many people they can reach. It's quite astonishing. We can reach billions of people with a well-crafted and catchy campaign. We're also going to develop an awareness of how we can integrate paid, owned and earned media, how we can get the three different types working together to really benefit and gain that amplification. And hopefully by the end of this little mini lecture, you will be inspired and aware of some of the opportunities presented by technology, presented by trends and behaviour that we can use and perhaps you can use for your positive impact projects. So the challenges to traditional advertising. So increasingly, we have what we call fragmented channels. So back in my childhood, we had just 3 TV channels, just 3. And I think only one of those was commercial. So I was born in the very late 70s, grew up in the 80s. So back then, in most countries that had television, it was much easier to reach a high percentage of the population if you were to have an advertisement on one of those channels, because you don't have that competition for attention. Now we have so many TV channels. I think we have some estimate between 400 and 600 in the United Kingdom. In America, it's estimated there are several thousands. I'm sure in other large population countries like China and India, there are also many thousands of television channels. Then you think of the thousands of radio stations and different magazines and newspapers. In this modern era, it's much harder to reach large sections of the population. So it's much more challenging for traditional types of advertising. Also, now that we're all online a lot more often, we've got devices, tablets, TVs, computers, there is an ever increasing number of adverts. We're seeing adverts all the time, outdoors, indoors, online, and we have to have a filter. We have to kind of learn to ignore some of these messages so that we don't end up spending all of our money. So if people are seeing more advertising messages, it's increasingly hard to stand out and to get people's attention and to kind of achieve whether it's brand awareness or to sell your product. Also, technology gives us the ability to block ads. If you're using a smartphone, you can use an ad blocker. If you're using a laptop or computer, likewise, you can use an ad blocker. If we're watching television, we can record our favorite programs and we can fast forward and skip the television advertisements. So it's really hard these days to get noticed, to reach a large audience and to be effective. It can be truly quite expensive and challenging. So in order to do this, in order for brands to still have really successful campaigns and to reach a large proportion of the population, they need to break with the status quo. They need to do something truly different and sort of refuse the given wisdom and really do something outside of the box, something very unexpected. So one of the things that brands are doing in order to kind of overcome these challenges, they're using things that are making or techniques that make their content highly engaging. So some brands are using cutting edge CGI being computer generated imagery. So there's a lot of new graphical capability in terms of being able to make animated animations, animated films. So a lot of brands are using this, the very latest technology to create really impressive, mind-blowing, incredible sort of campaigns using digital technologies. There's also a heavy investment in creative where brands are spending lots of money with the best creative agencies to come up with the best ideas that are truly innovative and different and entertaining. Also, brands are thinking about how they can use technology with everybody, not everybody, but a very, very high proportion of the population having smartphones. They can use apps, they can use augmented reality or virtual reality. So brands are having to think about all of these different things in order that they can be innovative, and then they combine that with something really fun, really strong emotional appeal so that people want to participate, people want to share it, people want to tell other people about it, and they can achieve that social amplification. So as Butcher says, now when a professional sender, such as a brand, puts out a message into the world, it can be amplified and rebroadcast by the receivers and then rebroadcast by subsequent receivers, and so on and so on. So if brands get this right, and if it's something that's worth sharing, then the receivers will continue to share that message, and they'll achieve additional extra reach. So one of the really successful campaigns I'd like to share with you is a campaign called Elf Yourself, which has been running since 2006. It's a very simple system, but it was cutting edge at the time, back in 2006. It utilized a technology called face in video. So people could upload a picture of themselves to the website, and their face would be presented over the video with some dancing elves. It was very charming. It was an internal idea developed by the marketing department of Office Max and Office Depot. They used their owned media, so people would visit the Office Max, Office Depot website. They would upload their face photos and create a video. And of course, it's so funny. It's your family, it's your friends. You would send it to everybody. You would share it. People would love it. They'd want to do it too. They'd go to the website, upload their faces, create a video, send it to all of their friends, and so on and so forth. So again, this is an example of a brand using the latest technology available at the time, coming up with a really clever, shareable, funny, entertaining, creative concept that people naturally want to participate in and naturally want to show other people. It won lots of awards, and the company were kind of combining both their own technology, their website, its latest technology, face in video, and also taking advantage of the technology available to their audience. People had emails. Back then, people had instant messenger, which was the early type of social media, and this allowed that to be spread. So if you created a little Elf Yourself video, you'd probably send it to your auntie, to your grandmother, to your best friend, and then they would, do the same. They'd record one and send it on, because we have these sharing tools, email and instant messenger. So to date, there have been over 1.5 billion elves created. So that's a lot of people. It's a good percentage of the human population has elved themselves. So if there was ever an example of a truly viral and very clever marketing campaign, then I think Office Max and Office Depot are definitely winning the award. They're setting the standard. It's a really, really good case study, a good class example. So it's still going strong today. They are continuing to move with technology. They have now added additional features. So now you can use your smartphone and you can use augmented reality. So you can see your elves dancing anywhere. So they can be indoors, they can be outdoors. They've also added different cultural perspectives. So if you're Jewish, you can do a Hanukkah dance as well as the Christian Christmas dance. So they're trying to think of different ways that they can broaden their reach and also just make it more fun and more engaging. So let's have another look at how this campaign works. So last week we were looking at owned media. This week we're looking at earned media. So Office Max, Office Depot use their own website, so they use their owned media. They also had an existing list of customers that they could email to promote this new app that they put on their website. They then achieved earned media because people were coming to the website, recording the video, and then electing to share it with other people by email or by instant messenger or social media later down the line. And people liked it, and they were willing to go, okay, I love that video that Susan sent me of her and her family dancing as elves. I'm going to do the same thing. So they went to the website, back to that owned media, and created some content. So that was the kind of the format for the viral spread. So think about how you can combine owned media and help to gain yourself some earned media. Another example, which takes us from looking at paid media towards more integrated technology-based and earned media, is Evian. So let's have a little look at Evian's journey. So Evian first came on the scene as a notable brand in terms of their creative and their advertising campaigns way back in the 90s, in 1998. They came up with a very charming television advert which featured little babies. Again, it was using CGI, computer-generated imagery, little babies doing synchronized dancing. So it's a very charming video and it won lots of awards. Oops, sorry. As you can see, at the time it was cutting edge. People loved it. People talked about it. Other broadcasters, magazines were talking about it because it was just, nothing had been seen like this before. It was very novel, very unique. Evian slept on it a little bit, so it was almost 10 years later before they brought back the Live Young campaign with a new iteration. But when they dropped it, it went off. They added this to YouTube. It was a little roller babies sort of video, great catchy tune, again featuring the computer generated imagery of babies again, which people just find cute and charming. And this time they broke the internet. They actually broke the Guinness World Book of Records, to be more accurate. At the time, they had 45 million YouTube views, which was the most viewed campaign ever on YouTube. So Evian really managed to continue the success of this particular campaign initiative. So again, they slept on it for a little bit, not as long this time. They kind of got back with their Live Young campaign with a smaller gap this time in 2013 when they followed up with the Baby and Me video. So this was dropped in 2013 and this landed them 20 million views in 2 days. So if you think about the previous campaign, it was 45 million views total by the end of the campaign. This one was 20 million in 2 days. A couple of different factors. There's more people using the internet, there's more people using YouTube, and their campaign was just even better and like doing great things. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend having a watch. Super cute, very adorable. It taps into that emotion of just the love of babies and that kind of free-spirited funness. So they also added in 2013 an app. So people could add an app to their smartphone, which would allow them to upload a picture of themselves and to see what they would look like as one of the Evian babies. So it's a really sweet idea. And again, they're capitalizing on the technology that their audience has at their disposal. So they've done this sort of dropped a campaign on YouTube, and they've also added an app so people can really engage and create their own content. The Live Young and the Evian Baby campaign is very popular, and they've done some co-branding. When the Spider-Man movie dropped, they did a little Spider-Man video of a baby Spider-Man, or Spider-Man seeing his reflection as a baby to continue the theme of the Baby and Me campaign. So Evian are doing great things. They're getting lots of leverage out of this one creative idea, and they're constantly using technology. So in 2017, Evian combined outdoor paid media. So they had some billboards and some posters with snap codes, again, a new technology. And if people use the snap code, they use a scanner on their phone, they use a snap code, they could take part in a branded game, a mini game for mobile. And if they succeeded and achieved certain points, they could use a face in video technology. So they've gone from like a still image of uploading your face to actually uploading your face into a dancing baby video. So again, they're making the most of available technology. They're blending paid, they're blending earned, and they're kind of encouraging people to share once they've earned a good score. They've managed to use the baby face in video dancing baby campaign. People want to share that stuff. They want to say, hey guys, look at me as a dancing baby. They send that to their friends then want to play the game. So Evian are utilizing highly shareable creative stuff that resonates with us as humans, and they're also thinking about technology and how that's advancing. So I appreciate that you guys are doing a positive impact project and you do not have the big budget that Evian has, but it might be worth appreciating or understanding that some of the things that Evian have used do not actually cost any money. Snap codes, for example, are not ad products. They're actually free of charge. So anybody can create a snap code that unlocks an external website from within the Snapchat app. So this means that you could do the same sort of thing. You could create a snap code which directs people to a particular website as part of your campaign. So have a think about getting to know the platforms, getting to know what functions they offer for free, what features they have, and how you can use this creatively as part of your customer journey in order to gain some engagement and get people to sort of participate in something that's interactive or something that's easy to spread to friends. So this is just a really good example that you could follow. You could look at something similar with a different platform, but get to know the platforms, get to know what functions are free, what you could use perhaps for your positive impact project. So let's analyze the campaign from a paid, owned, earned perspective. So staying with the Evian campaign and the mini game, it all begins with paid content. So they have some outdoor advertisements with snap codes that people can use their smartphones to interact with. This then takes people to Evian's owned media, an owned mini game, which people can play. And then they have a reward, something that's interactive, something that's fun, and something that is highly shareable. So they get to participate in the face in video technology and have themselves as a little dancing baby. Of course, this is funny, entertaining. They want to show their friends. So they will share this on social media. And obviously the idea is it's easy to share. So it's got low barriers to kind of sharing it. Other people will see this. That's really cute. My friend Tom is a dancing baby. I want to have a go. I'm going to go and have a look for the Evian owned mini game so I can play the game myself. And again, this is building brand awareness, engagement with the brand. So the brand is front of mind when people do want to buy mineral water. And again, the cycle repeats itself as more people participate and more people share. Let's have a quick look at the YouTube Roller Babies owned media campaign. So Evian invested a lot of money in creating this wonderful piece of owned media. They created this short video, which they posted on YouTube. So it was their owned channel because it's their channel on YouTube. This earned them lots of views, lots of shares. The media start talking about it because it's such a sensation. It's trending, so they get free press that cover the sensation. People read about it, they hear about it, they go to YouTube, they want to watch it, and again that viral kind of spread of the message is achieved. So the brands are getting much more reach because they're creating content that's so shareable, and they're thinking about the channels and the platforms that they use so that people can easily share that message. So rather than just broadcasting it on television or on the radio, they're actually using modern technology, social media, and thinking about the technology that their users have so they can really get that amplification. So virality, achieving a viral campaign, is the dream of earned media. All brands will probably like their campaigns to go viral, but you can't plan or make a viral campaign. You can't say, right, I shall create a viral campaign. It does not work that way. The audience chooses what they will share. You might think it's really shareable and really funny and really entertaining. The public might not agree with you. So we can only give the audience a really good reason to share and hope that it goes viral. Some of the ingredients that we can add to kind of increase the chance that this will happen include using cutting edge CGI, computer generated imagery, or cutting edge technology to achieve that novelty, that wow factor. We can use humor. As humans, we love to share emotional content, and especially positive emotions, things that are funny, touching, romantic, or silly. It's also really important to understand the zeitgeist of the moment, what's trending. So at the moment on TikTok and these sort of short form platforms, dance routines are a really big thing at the moment. So is that something that you could use to get people sharing? Also make it easy to share. If it's complicated, if it requires many steps, if it requires people creating accounts and doing things, they're less likely to do it. Use readily available tools, use platforms that people are already using. Think about making it as easy as possible to share and to get other people to participate. Also think about what's the incentive. Why would people share? Do they want to do it to be part of a community, for a connection? Do they want to do it for attention? Does it make them look funny? Does it make them look cool? Does it make them look kind? Think about the motivation. So you might also be thinking, okay, it's all right for Evian. They're a big multinational company. They have lots of money. Or it's okay for Office Max, Office Depot. They're a big United States company with lots of money. We're a positive impact project. We don't have a budget. But I would like to let you know, no budget, no problem. There is still plenty you can do in terms of earning media by having fantastic creative and using your imagination, and also understanding the tools and technologies that people have at their disposal. So let's have a little think and a little look for inspiration. So how many of you have undertaken this challenge? The Ice Bucket Challenge. So this swept around the world in 2014 and saw millions of people tipping buckets of icy water over their heads. It was a super simple idea. Most people can get their hands on a bucket or a similar container. Most people can also access some water and some ice. So a very low barrier to entry, very low tech. It was very funny because it's people doing something very uncomfortable. And the idea is you do it, you pledge some money to a charity, and you nominate other friends to do the challenge. And if you've been nominated, you feel obliged, you do the challenge, you nominate other people. So again, it has that viral potential. So it swept through the world in summer 2014. It's been counted that there's been over 2.4 million tagged videos. So 2.4 million people have created videos of themselves doing the Ice Bucket Challenge. and it raised £220 million for the motor neuron disease and associated charities. So really quite astronomical in terms of its success and in terms of its wide reach. Another campaign that was more UK based was the No Makeup Selfie Challenge. So this just challenged men and women to post a picture of themselves on social media, to be very brave, to be very bold, and to remove their makeup and upload that picture. So a lot of celebrities got involved in this, which inspired other people to do it as well. So this was for a UK charity, a breast cancer charity, and it was very successful at raising awareness of the charity itself, raising awareness of the issue, getting women to sort of be aware of breast cancer and checking. And also it had an incredibly successful reach. So some estimate that it reached or gained awareness in an estimate of 80% of UK adults. So it also led to an increase in the number of people following the charity on social media, with an additional 221,400 Facebook fans, an additional 8,000 Twitter followers, and it raised £8 million for the charity. So again, very low tech, very simple, very easy to share, very easy to take part, and it had a huge impact for this charity. So I would encourage you to think about your positive impact project, to think about take inspiration from Evian and the technology and the snap codes, what the platforms can do, the Ice Bucket Challenge, doing something fun, entertaining, super viral, easily shareable, and come up with something that could help your campaign, your positive impact project, to reach more people. So think about as well how offline and online can work together, how we can get people who are outdoors or in the world to see something that can bring them to our social media. So it might be a snap code, it might be a QR code, it might be a barcode, how people have smartphones today. They can participate in augmented reality apps and games and mini games and what have you. So have a think about the technology that people have a think about what can be done, and do some research. So bear in mind with this particular positive impact project, you do not have a budget for the project at this stage for assessment 1, but for your final idea, you could say that yes, we will have a mini game. You can tell me about that, and just make sure that however you raise awareness using social media is using owned and earned. And then you can say, okay, if we were successful, we'd get investment for the mini game or the app. So you can park that idea. You don't have to worry about the fact that you haven't got a budget. You could still come up with an idea that uses a website, uses an app, or has an event. The other thing you really need to think about for your positive impact project is how you can create something highly shareable, something perhaps unique, novel, interesting, exciting, that people in your audience will want to participate in. Another thing that's going to be quite useful for assessment item 2 when you are focusing in on paid media is thinking about how you can combine paid media, owned media, and earned media all together to increase your reach, to amplify your message, and how you can perhaps get more leverage, more miles out of your paid media if you've got some sort of incentive for people to participate or for people to share your campaign message. So if you are going to try and add a little virality to your campaign, if you're going to hope that this is something spreadable, that people will spread to other people and they'll spread it, so on and so forth, there are a few ingredients that you can add to your campaign that might improve the chances that people will share. You need to understand why people share. For a start, again, it could be down to their ego. It could be because it makes them look good. It makes them look funny. It makes them, it's quite trendy at the moment. So try to tap into a reason why people would want to share. Think about novelty. Think about doing something that's quite unique, quite different. If you've done something that's been done before, people might not find it that interesting or engagement. Think about the emotional appeal. Humor, joy, positive emotions are very strong, and people like to be happy and make other people happy. So if there's something that you can do that can kind of help people have a little fun, help people have a little connection. Think about people's incentives as well. Does it make them look charitable? Does it make them look like a good person, or that they're in with the latest trends? Think about why people, the incentive you can give them to share. And again, keep it simple. Keep those barriers to entry low. So there's something that people have access to at home, something that they don't need to be very technology savvy to do. That'll be great. More people will be able to do it. If it's easy to share, very simple system, it's more likely to be viral. It's more likely to be successful. So have a little think about those factors. Take inspiration from the campaigns that I've shown you today for this week's challenge, when you will be coming up with a user-generated content campaign.